Welcome to TCH Live as we get ready for a special Sunday stream down here in the Rio Grande Valley. It is the finale of the 10K in a day. And let us go around the table. In seat number one, we have Abraham. He has 2.4 in.
I give you gum, I give you gummy bears, I give you everything. You still give me a hard time.
No, excuse me. Yeah, I think the names are wrong because I know in seat one is actually Jesse, so don't get that corrected. But we can see the chip leader coming in is Alejandro, that is Zamora, and the short stack is Jorge, and that is Chubbs. Short stack with 1.2 million, but he does have 20 big blinds. So even though he is the short stack, he is not in the danger zone. The seat numbers are off because I know seat number one is Jesse, seat number two is Ruben, so they'll get that corrected. And away we go. First hand here. This tournament was $20 to enter, had a $10,000 guaranteed prize pool, and it wound up more than doubling. Prize pool of 23.
Redrick said he's going to run through it.
So first hand of the final table here has, yeah, I will let the production crew know that the players are in the wrong seats. The names are in the wrong seats at least. So we'll get the names corrected, but heads up to a queen high flop we go. Francis flopping top pair. Yeah, Francis is in the right spot because that is Francis. And Francis is going to bet, looks like 220, no, 120. Taking the pot up to 420. Nobody else with anything, so Francis should take this down. Oh, actually, it is Omar who bet his gut shot. And now Francis going to wind up with two pair. Omar betting with the gut shot, now making a pair, and he is going to continue the aggression here. Each of the white chips worth 25K, so that's... Oh, he's betting 400 here. Chunky bet. Francis with the two pair. Yeah, Francis is in the low jack. Yeah, I do apologize. I will let the production crew know, but they got the name wrong, so... Actually, it is Omar, who I believe has the queen jack, because, yeah, that's the hand they're saying it's betting, yeah. Francis in the low jack, that's what the LJ is, and the HJ is hijack, so the hijack is after the low jack. So these names are wrong. Francis calling with a gut shot, now picking up a pair. We'll continue on here. So names are flip-flopped. They will get it corrected, but it's going to take about 15 minutes to do so. So the check mark going to Omar, as Francis will check. Already 1.3 million in the middle. Backdoor hearts did arrive. Probably not worried about that. And he's just going to check it down, yeah. So that is Omar winning the pot. Francis did have the Jack 10. And I will let the production crew know to get the names corrected. So the names are going to be wrong here for about 15 minutes, but the chip stacks the stack sizings will be correct, and we will see after this hand that is going to take, well, it's going to reward the chips to the wrong person. Yeah, so Omar winning the hand. All right, so production crew has been informed. That is the good news. The bad news is we're not going to see the correction for 15 minutes because we are on a 15-minute delay. So this is actually Zamora, who came in as the chip leader, came in with 4 million in chips. He is raising it up with the ace-5. And this is Jesse in seat 1. He's going to be making a call with the pretty suited Jack-10. And that is actually Ruben. So if you know these players, it's very confusing. But let us just call out their seat positions. That'll be easier to do. So action will be in the small blind here with the 7s. Under the gun +1, your initial raiser did hit a pair. Will probably continue here. 540 in the middle. Maybe about 200,000. So under the gun, raising it pre-flop with the ace-5, hitting a 5. And he's taking a while here. Oh, I don't think he realized the action was on him, so there you go. Yeah, and each of those gold chips worth 100,000, so thought he would bet 300. He's betting. Thought he would bet 200. He's betting 300. So just over half pot here into 2 opponents. Jesse will make the fold, and Ruben with 1 overcard to worry about. Has no clubs in his hand, so he might make the call here, and it looks like he's reaching for chips. So Ruben probably checking any. Oh, that's a really good turn for Ruben, as now his opponent is least likely to have a 10. So that's a real good card for the small blind. The initial raiser under the gun +1 should probably be slowing down here, but he is not. Looks like he's going to put out 400. Should be a pretty easy call for Ruben. The aggression is going to get it done. All right, as I said, we're on a 15-minute delay, so the production crew is aware, and they have notified me that in 15 minutes, we're going to take a quick break. And the reason for the quick break is we're going to get everybody's chip stack properly. So chips are being awarded, at least on the graphics, to the wrong person. So it's going to throw off all the graphics, just like any sort of computer program. Junk in, junk out. So right now we are putting junk in, but we will get it corrected here in 15 minutes. We're going to take a break in 15 minutes, and all the players are going to count their chips. That way we will get the correct seats with the names and the chip counts. So 15 minutes we will take a break, but in the meantime we will see Coach Mike looking down at the suited connectors, the 4 deuce of clubs. And as I said, everybody entering with more than 20 big blinds, so it does give you the option to get a little bit more creative with some hands. Coach Mike just limping. And Chubb's in the big blind. We'll check his option. And we got ourselves an action flop here. So trips versus an open ender. But Chubbs is not going to be able to hit the deuce, as the deuce would give Coach Mike a straight. So Coach Mike, betting 100K. It looks like Chubbs is going to be raising it here. The big blind going to be raising it. This is actually a good raise for him. I mean, he's unlucky that Coach Mike has the 4 here, but the majority of the time, this flop is going to favor the big blind range. So he is representing the 4. The problem is his opponent has the 4. We do have some action in the comments that I'll get to after this hand. Nice smooth call here from Coach Mike. And he is in the low jack, so Chubbs in the big blind does not want to see a deuce. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know if Chubbs is going to be able to get away here. He thinks he hit the perfect card, and you can see him sizing up here. And does Coach Mike continue to just call? I like a call. Let's see if Coach Mike agrees with me. You're only losing to one hand, pocket sixes. Actually 6-4 as well, but you're not folding a full house. Cutting out the call. Let's see if he just slides that out. Once again, this is Coach Mike, not Jesse. Jesse's in seat 1. And as I said, all the names will get corrected in less than 15 minutes. I mentioned this before. We are actually live. Oh, nice smooth call here from Coach Mike. And George better hope a 4, 6, or deuce comes on the river, because he might lose all his stack here. He only has 500K left, and I think he's going to say all in. Yeah, he says all in. And just like that, Chubbs is going to be our first player out. Wow. So as I said, he was the short stack coming in, but he had 20 bigs. And not to take anything away from the other players at the table, but Chubbs is by far the most experienced when it comes to big final tables, as he has made multiple final tables across the state of Texas at the World Series of Poker. So between all the players, he did have the biggest Hendon mob. But Coach Mike, who did limp with the 4 deuce of clubs, is going to get the first knockout. So as I said, all of these figures are wrong. We know that Francis has less chips because she lost the pot to Omar, and Omar has more chips. And then we know Coach Mike there, who is currently listed at 2.6. He's going to have more chips because he just won 1.2 chips from Chubbs, but they got credited towards Jesse. Ace-4 for Francis. She will let it go. And this is Omar with the jacks. I believe the blinds are up. Yeah, blinds are 40-80 right now. So probably about 200, a nice raise. That's 2.5x. It's going to be 275. It's actually more than 3x. So Abraham, this is Abraham at seat 10. And nice call here with just the 10s. Not wanting to overcommit himself. Ruben in the cutoff. On the button. Oh. Uh-oh. He is going all in. And we might lose another player here. Because I do not see Omar folding jacks. So the red chips are worth the pink chips are worth 5,000. The white chips are worth 25, and the gold chips are worth 100K. So Omar started the final table with 3.6 million, and he did win a pot, so he has about 4 million in his stack. And then Ruben starts final table with 2.1. So Omar does have Ruben covered. The player with the jacks here, under the gun +1. Omar does have him covered. And Abraham in seat number 9 should be able to get away from these 10s once Omar makes the call. It's for a lot of chips. It's for over 2 million in chips. But Jack's too strong of a hand here to fold, in my opinion. And I think Omar's going to come to the same conclusion, and does. And as I said, now Abraham should be able to get away from his 10s and basically lose the minimum here in seat 9. The ace-jack was getting called no matter what. Yeah, Abraham loses the minimum. And Ruben's going to have to hit an ace. So let's see if the action tracker lets us know how many aces are left. There's only one ace available for Ruben to hit, so we might have back-to-back casualties, and we do. So this is what we're playing for. This was a $20 buy-in tournament, built a prize pool of over $20,000. Chubbs was the first player out, taking home $650, and Ruben is going to take home $750. First place going to take home $7,500 off of a $20 buy-in, folks. 10K in a day, and like I said, it was actually 3 days. 3 different flights. Top 8% made it to day 2. And as I said, we're probably less than 10 minutes away from a pause in the action to get the proper chip counts. And I said I was going to get to the comments after the previous hand, but how about after this hand? As long as there's not another knockout, I will get to the comments. So Omar, who did win a big hand earlier and then wins another hand, skyrocketing up. Coach Mike, the low jack, that's what the LJ stands for. You can see 3.48 million, which is not the accurate count, but that's what the LJ stands for, low jack, and then it should say HJ here, high jack, CO being cut off, and that's going to be Oscar with the Kojak, and it looks like he does raise it up to 225. And it's going to be a raise and take. And let's see the comments. Yeah, somebody mentioned in the comments, yeah. Really great tournament. I was talking about some other hands, so I apologize. Just curious why he checked. Oh, I think you were talking about the Queen Jack when he checked on the river. Yeah, My guess would be, since it was the first hand of the tournament, a lot of times players don't want to go too crazy. They don't want to be the first one knocked out, so really felt like was only getting called by a better hand. Uh-oh. Yeah, so I think something on one of the card readers didn't pick up. These are special cards. These are special cards. They have a computer chip in them. And that's how we know what the players have. And sometimes the production crew will tell the dealer that the cards did not get scanned properly. And I think that's what happened here. So while the dealer waits on the production crew, I will get back to the comments. JJ wishing everybody good luck. And then I guess somebody answering the question on why he checked. As I said, sometimes, yeah. Jacob would have played it different, and that's the good thing about poker. I mean, there are different approaches you can take. The big thing, I think, is you find a style that works for you. You find a style that works for you. But my thinking, as I said, it was the first hand of the tournament. Now, this is the tournament, Chad. This is the tournament. Yeah, there's a couple of these players that are in. I believe Omar might be in for $20. There's two other players at the table that are in for $60. It was a $20 buy-in, and then there was an optional add-on you could do at the end. Yeah, so we're just pausing. Or maybe this is the 15-minute pause where they're getting everybody's names corrected. Whatever it is, you can see that the dealer has a headset and is in constant communication with the production crew. So the production crew telling the dealer that they need to pause the action. But while they're pausing the action, we got a lot of action on the chat here. So I'll give you the exact breakdown on the buy-ins and everything like that. Got a fan of every hand, Fran. Yeah, it looks like the chat is answering all the questions, but I will break that down, yeah. There's a $20 buy-in, there's rebuys, there's add-ons, so we'll break that down here in a bit. Oh, here we go, yeah. That might be true, yeah. I know there was 129 unique entries. So then whatever the math is on that, yeah, that would be about, everybody's in for about 200 average. But I'm pretty sure what they're doing right now is they're getting the exact players lined up in the right seats. But this is the breakdown right here. The $20 got you. The $20 got you 5K in chips. And then if you were on time, you got an extra 5K. So if you were on time, $20 got you 10,000 in chips at the beginning. And you were able to do a one-time add-on of $40. They gave you an extra 50K in chips. So Ruben, who got knocked out in 8th place, I know he was just in for $60. Ruben was only in for $60, and he wound up cashing out $750. So there was 129 players. Of those 129 players, they rebought almost 2,000 times. We had 1,997 rebuys at $10 each. Every $10 got you an extra 10K in chips, and you were able to do that at any time during the tournament for as much as you wanted. There were some players that sat down for $500. There were also some players who sat down for $20. And for sure, the player in seat 1 and the player who got knocked out in seat 2, they were only in for $60. They paid the $20 to enter. That got them 5,000 in chips. They showed up on time. They got an extra 5,000. And then they did the $40 add-on that got them 50K in chips. So they started the tournament with 60K in chips, and they spun it up to over $1 million in chips. But as I said, the pause here is just expected as they are getting everybody lined up in the proper seats. And it looks like that was another win for Omar. So let me tell you how these players initially started the final table. You can see the graphics now catching up. And you can see the dealer making sure that everybody's in the right seat. So we have seat number 1, Abraham. No, excuse me. Seat number 1 to the left of the dealer. That is going to be Jesse Peña. He started the final table with 2.2 million. So seat 1 started the final table with 2.2 million. And he wanted to give a shout out to his son JJ, who is on a traveling baseball team. And then seat number 2, we had Ruben, who got knocked out with the ace jack, finishing in 8th. He started the final table with 2.1 million. Seat 3, we had Oscar. Oscar started the final table with 2.8 million. Seat 4, we had Georgie, and he was the first player knocked out. He started the final table with 1.2 million. He was a short stack, but he still had 20 bigs. And I know it seems like, oh, he's a short stack, that's why he was the first one to lose, but he had 20 bigs. He got coolered. That's why he lost. He got coolered. That happens in poker. And then we have in seat 5, we have Alejandro Zamora. He was the only player that double bagged. He played Friday's flight and then he played Saturday's flight. So he got the min cash for $550 and got to combine his stack. So he came in as the chip leader at 4.1 million. And then in seat 6, we have Francis, Every Hand Fran. She was the chip leader after day 1A, and she bagged exactly 3 million, but we saw her lose the first hand earlier. And then in seat number 7, we have Omar. Omar came to the final table with 3.6 million, but he has already knocked out a player and won a couple of other big hands, so his stack should be up to maybe close to 5 million. And then next to Omar in seat 8, we have Coach Mike. He came to the final table with 3.2 million, and he knocked out Chubb, so he should be up to close to 5 million. And then rounding out the field in seat 9, we have Abraham. Abraham came to the final table with 2.4 million in chips. So both Abraham in seat 9 and Coach Mike in seat 8, both these players played today's Turbo Flight. It was the last opportunity to qualify. So both of them have been here since 12 noon. The other players either advanced on Friday or Saturday, so pretty much had all of Sunday off. And you can see that all the names on the bottom cleared out. So what they're doing right now is they're re-entering everybody's names with the new chip stack. So that is the pause in the action. The plan for tonight on TCH Live Poker is to actually stream 2 tournaments. So we're streaming right now in the Rio Grande Valley, and they will be streaming later on from TCH Social in Austin. So you get 2 streams for the price of 1 tonight. All we ask is that you make sure you hit the like button. So 2 of these players, seat 8, seat 9, they've been here since 12 noon. They played the final turbo flight to get in. And then, as I said, the player in seat 1, Jesse, he's only in for $60. And I think Omar might only be in for $20. So they will get everything corrected. And once again, if you haven't seen the prize pool, that is what the prize pool looks like. Only a $20 entry, but keep in mind, these players were able to add on at any time. Every $10 gave them $10K in chips. So there was almost 2,000 add-ons between the 129 players. And that's how we got to a $23,000 prize pool. This was $10,000 guaranteed for the prize pool, but we more than doubled it. 7 players left to go. And as I said, they are just getting everything corrected with the seats. They put the players in the wrong seats. So Jose Lerba, who almost made the final table, I think he finished 4th or 5th. I showed up a little bit after 5 today. The restart was scheduled for 6, and I showed up a little bit after 5, and the turbo was still going on, and that is why we went on the air late. So the plan was to start day 2 at 6 p.m., but the turbo was still going on. Yeah, that's how tournaments go. You got to win flips. You got to win flips in tournaments.
Hey, can I get the chips or no? Because he won the hand on the TV. Live stream says I won that hand.
Oh, yeah?
And those fucking jacks, Francis had those fucking jacks.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing now. You can see that the clock is paused. The clock is paused here as they are getting everything corrected. The players were in the wrong seats, and thus we're giving you bad information. Never good to give bad information, especially when there's so much information on your fingertips. So next big event coming up here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, is going to be the Trailblazer Series. So Season 2 of the Trailblazer Series is going on right now. As a matter of fact, it is making a stop just north of Houston, north of the airport in the city of Spring. Trailblazer Series is going on right now. So if you're from the Houston area or know of anybody in the Houston area, let them know about the Trailblazer Series taking place at Texas Card House Spring. And then at the end of January, the week between Christmas and New Year, the Trailblazer Series will make a return stop. If you know of any player who made a run during the first Trailblazer Series in Dallas or made a run in Houston, make sure you let them know. It's going to be double points down here in South Texas. And the reason why that's important is because these players are going to qualify for a 100K free roll. So the event down here in South Texas is going to be double points. So if you know of any tournament grinders or if you're a tournament grinder yourself, you want to mark that in your calendar. Not only that, the weather's going to be nice here in South Texas. I predict we'll have at least one day in the 80s, 80 degrees. We do have very mild winters down here in the Rio Grande Valley. We're kind of the Florida of the Midwest. A lot of quote-unquote winter Texans come down here. to spend the winners, and then they go back in the spring. But once again, if you are wondering what the pause is, we are just getting chip counts from all the players to make sure that they are in the right seats. So they're just about done re-entering everything in the computer. Once we see the names here on the bottom of the screen, they literally had to reset the system because you can see that it's showing we are in hand number 1. So speaking about the Trailblazer Series, it is a 100K free roll, and these are the details.
The hunt starts now. Every stop, every hand, every point counts. Earn points by entering, registering on time, finishing in the money, and score multipliers with bigger fields. Climb the leaderboard and take your shot at the ultimate free roll prize pool. $100,000 in cold hard cash reserved for the grinders who rise to the top. Trailblazer Poker Tour Season 2 begins the 25th of September at TCH Dallas and TCH Social Las Colinas. Play more, earn more, climb to the top where you belong.
So if you remember, last year was the first year they ran the Trailblazer Series, and the reason why it was called the Trailblazer Series is because the top points earner won a Chevrolet Trailblazer. There was also a 50K free roll available to the top 50 players. So this year, instead of buying another Trailblazer, they're going to take the money they were going to spend on the Trailblazer and add it to the free roll. So this year, it's going to be a 100K free roll instead of the 50K. And instead of 50 players qualifying, 100 players are going to qualify. And there are multipliers available. And the big multiplier is double points. And you can only earn double points down here in the Rio Grande Valley. Here we go. So they're punching the names back in the system. And we should be ready to rock and roll once again. We are live in the YouTube chat, and comment just coming through right now. Yeah, so this is just one of the stops. Basically, every stop, I don't have the list in front of me, but I know you could get bonus points by going to at least 3 Trailblazer Series, like in 3 different markets. So if you go to like Dallas one, a Houston one, and an Austin, if you just play one event, you earn multipliers like that as well. Or if you go to Austin, Houston, Rio Grande Valley, you earn multipliers as well. But one of the events has already taken place. Took place last month in the Dallas area. But they're going to go back to Dallas because there's 2 locations in Dallas. So they're going to go back to Dallas in February. They're also going to go back to Houston in January. So every event that you play at the Trailblazer Poker Tour, you earn points. You also earn points if you register on time. But there's the calendar for the events. And let us see. I think we're ready to rock and roll once again. All right, so Omar, I thought he would be at least 5 million. He's at 9 million. Coach Mike at 4.4. Oscar at 2.9. Francis at 2.2. Abraham at 2.1. Jesse at 2 million. And Zamora, who I guess that last hand before the break lost the big hand. I guess Zamora lost the big hand earlier. He came to the final table as the chip leader with 4 million, but it looks like he lost the big hand. That last hand that we weren't able to see that Omar won, he won it against Zamora. All right, so we are ready to rock and roll once again. No. There's a ton of money available, but for the 100K free roll, you need the points to qualify for the free roll. But everything else plays normal, like a normal tournament. You pay an entry fee, whatever the tournament pays, you win that. The points are only for the 100K free roll. And take, for example, I can pull up an event right now from our Houston location and let you know the breakdown on that. All right, so back to the action we go. Everybody's names are correct now. And it's going to be a jack high flop. So Coach Mike flopping a jack, but Zamora flopping a jack with a better kicker. And Zamora going to bet 200,000. Quick call from Omar, but Coach Mike is not folding his jack. And Coach Mike making the call here, looking for a 6. Oh, got some chop out possibilities now if the board pairs. And we're going to chop this up. Jacks and 8s with an ace kicker. They go check, check to the river. Oh, wow. Coach Mike did not show his cards. That was a chop pot, but he did not show his cards. They're in the muck. Yeah, that was a chop pot. Coach Mike only showed the jack and then mucked his cards, but he would have chopped the pot. Yeah, the table just realizing what just happened. So the Trailblazer Series, take for example, right now, they have a 200K guarantee tournament going on, event number 3. And I believe that's playing right now. Yep. So right now, the Trailblazer Series going on at Texas Card House in Spring. Event number 3, 200K guaranteed multi-flight for... And that prize pool also exceeding its guarantee. Oh, Oscar with the Kings here. Raises it up, gets a call from Abraham. And the ace might slow down the action here. I still like a continuation bet here from Oscar, but he is going to check. Abraham should be checking again, and now Oscar should be putting on the bet. No, it goes check, check again. Abraham river in a straight draw, but there's no more cards to come. And it's just going to go check, check all the way down. So whenever they reset everything to re-enter everybody's names, it looks like they did something with the camera, so we'll get that corrected as well. As I said, this is live with the 15-minute delay built in, so anything we correct, it does take 15 minutes to do. But that kind of shows you that it is live. I have mentioned this before. There are some streams out there who claim that they are live, but they really aren't. Coach Mike with the Queens. All right, so just sent the message to the production crew. Big raise here from Coach Mike to 350. Going to get a quick call from Abraham. And Jesse does the same. So Coach Mike Probably should have raised it up to about 200,000 on the button there. Did size it up to over 300. So production crew is aware of the camera issue and should be getting corrected here in 15 minutes. Not a good start production-wise for the final table, but whenever you get a $20,000 prize pool off of a $20 buy-in, it's hard to complain. Action's going to be on Zamora under the gun. Does have the suited king. Probably should be letting it go and does. Francis at the 10s should be taking it up to at least 200. Oh, she just goes all in. 80, blinds 40, 80. So 800,000 is 10 bigs, yeah. Oh, she might get action here from Abraham. Pretty big all in from Francis here. She had still over 20 bigs, and she's going to get Abraham to fold the ace-queen. I do understand the fold as it was for all of Abraham's chips. And everybody's an expert when they can see the cards, but I do feel that the previous hand that Coach Mike raised it up to 300,000 with the queens, probably should have been raising it up to 200,000. And I do feel that Francis should have raised it up to about 200 to 220. Losing out on value. And obviously they did win the hands, but probably could have won a little bit more. Omar, your chip leader with 9 million. Does raise it up. Let's see how much. 250. Okay. Still over 3x. 240 would be 3x. So still on the big side, but you can see he is going to pick up a call from Jesse on the button. And Zamora coming along as well with his suited queen as we go 3 ways to a flop. Zamora going to be first to act. And he's going to hit clubs. Does he lead? No, he's going to check. Gut shot for Omar. I do like a small lead here, but he does check. Jesse with nothing just needs to check this. Jesse thinking about bluffing. And Jesse's going to bet half pot here with just king high. He's getting a little low on chips. So we have queen high versus king high going to a turn. And Jesse's going to hit the jack. Should be moving all in. There's already 1.7 in the middle. He has 1.1. So he should be moving all in here. See if he does. And there's the all in. I believe he has Zamora covered by 30,000 in chips. So dealer giving Zamora a count. Zamora picking up a straight draw now. A 10 would make him a straight, but we can see that 3 of the 10s have been folded. Only the 10 of diamonds is still in the deck. He also has 6 clubs that he can hit for a flush. But I think if you... He checked the flop and just called. So if he would have checked raise the flop, I think you go with your hand there. But now with just 1 card to come, you're still going to have over 10 big blinds. So I think you should be folding here, but Zamora might have a different opinion. And as I said, everybody's an expert when they can see the cards. Zamora really thinking about this. And as Zamora's thinking about, oh, so yeah, after this hand, I'll get to the comments. Actually, they might be on break according to the clock that's there. So they might have a break after this hand, and that's when they might fix all the cameras. So all the cameras were working when we started, but the players were in the wrong seat, so we had to essentially restart. And when we restarted, oh, Zamora made the call here with the flush draw. It's going to be a huge pot. Both these players with about the same amount of chips. So Zamora going to need to hit a 10 or a club. And here comes the river. And it's going to be the club. So Jesse going to be left with crumbs. Jesse going to be left with 30K in chips. And the blinds are 40,000. He's not even going to have enough for the small blind. So Zamora getting lucky on the river. Yeah, so Fran jammed earlier with 10s, but she jammed for a lot. She jammed for like 30 bigs. She had over 2 million. And I'm actually fine with the fold from the ace-queen there. And this isn't true because I have tuned into our Dallas stream, and they also have technical difficulties. And then on top of that, we have the same technician. So it's the same technician for TCH Live for all the locations. So that's not a true statement, sir. I've tuned into Dallas before. I've seen them have technical difficulties, and like I said, it's the same technician. Yeah, so, yeah, we do know about the cameras, Jeffrey. And somebody was saying if a queen comes, but all the queens were folded. Yeah, that's the good thing about the action tracker, is it keeps track of the cards that have been folded. Zamora the GOAT.
Can you tell them to skip the break? Can you tell Redbeard?
Oh, yeah, so the player's playing through the break.
Or tell Declan?
They told Declan.
The blinds are up on 50, 100, 100. It's already 100. Yeah.
So production crew has let me know they are working on the camera shoe. The same technician that works on the live stream from the Dallas location is letting me know. As I said, we're just getting everything figured out, and that's the good / bad thing of actually having a live stream. A lot of these post-production shows that you see, it is post-production. Like the event happened days ago, weeks ago, months ago.
But you do the other part down, like you do one up and one down.
It's already going.
Mira, te voy a decir una cosa. En mi corazón, tú sabes.
You didn't deserve to win. You didn't deserve to win. You had the worst hand. Sorry.
So camera being worked on, but we do have the overhead camera that works, and we do have all of the card readers that work. And we have one of the 5 cameras working. And more importantly, you have the headset that the commentator uses working. I believe Omar raised it up here with the ace-7. Blinds are up to 50 and 100. Blind versus blind action. As a queen would be a chop. A 10 would be a chop. So Francis getting a little short here. Let's see the chip counts afterwards. So 1 million is going to be 10 big blinds as blinds have gone up. And I believe they did the countdown. And Zamora did have Jesse covered. Yeah, so Francis still with 20 big blinds and Abraham with 17 big blinds. So nobody in the danger zone yet. So action's going to be on Coach Mike with the Jack-7. He'll get rid of that. Abraham in seat 9 next to Act. Let's see what he has. King-Jack. Playable hand. Don't know if he'll play it. Just makes the call. Does fold around to the blinds. Francis halfway in will flick out the other 50K, and we will be going 3 ways to a pot of exactly 400K in it. Omar flopping top pair, something for everybody. Francis with bottom pair, and Abraham with a gut shot. It does go check around. And now Abraham picking up a flush draw to go along with his gut shot. Maybe like a $200,000 bet from Omar here, about half pot. Oh, he's betting pot. Max pressure. He is a chip leader. Max pressure on his opponents, but I do think Abraham has to call this. Has the nut flush draw and also has a gut shot to go along with it. And even if he calls, he's still going to be left with more than 10 big blinds. Oh, he folds. Wow, okay. So the rich get richer. That's a good question for the chat. What do you think, chat? Get more thrill from a tournament than a cash game. Do you concur? It's a good question for the chat. I'll see what the chat says, and I will give my answer. Zamora with the Ducks in the cutoff. Should be raising it here to, I like 225. He likes 250. We're both right. And Coach Mike probably going to look him up here. Another 150 for him to call. So Coach Mike does indeed make the call, and we will go heads up to a flop of over 600,000. Coach Mike gonna outflop Zamora. Check bet call is what I'm predicting. Action is on Coach Mike. Let's see if he checks in flow. He does not. He bets 250. And Zamora folds face up. Nice fold from Zamora. And Coach Mike will show. Let us see what the chat says. Damn. Mikey disagreed right away. Okay. I do like the feeling of making a deep run in the tournament. The further you get, the more impactful each hand you play. That's a true statement. So once again, if you're just tuning in, we do have the overhead camera working and all the sensors working. They are working on the other 4 cameras on the room. The production crew is aware. Our production crew, the technician based out of our Dallas location in North Texas. But this tournament taking place in South Texas as Zamora going to raise it up. 2.5x with the ace-10. Francis going to call with the 2 letters. Omar, the chip leader, has the suited jack. Will be making the call. And both lines will get out of the way as we will go 3 ways to a pot. Exactly 1 million chips in the middle. And the ace going to peel right off for Zamora. Omar hitting bottom pair. Maybe about a third of the pot. Let's see how much he bets. He's going to bet half pot. And Omar should be getting out of the way here. Maybe if he had backdoor spades. But he has no backdoor spades, and he will get out of the way. And we will see if people are agreeing with Jose's statement. So one person disagreeing. One person pretty much. I think that's considered an agree.
At this point, make it 10. Make it 10.
If you hands up. If you hands up. Right? Right? I mean, you got money, you can wait. Right?
We're like in the 4th round.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't beat the rake. Zamora under the gun with the 4 deuce. He will be letting it go, as does Francis. Omar does the same. Coach Mike with the suited ace. Should be going up to at least 250. But he's just going to call with the pink chips. Pink chips are worth 5,000, so he's sliding out 20. And Abraham's going to come along, and Oscar should be raising here. I like a big raise since you're up position. So I'm thinking at least 420, maybe 500. No need to go all in, but I do like at least 420 here, maybe 500 with the ace-queen suited. He's going to make it 555. 550,000. Sizing it up because he's going to be out of position, and sizing it up because there's 2 opponents that he has to get through. So I knew he was going to size it up, and I understand why he's sizing it up. I actually think Coach Mike should have come in for a raise here on the button with a suited ace. But he chooses just to call, and this might save him some chips. And it is going to save him some chips. So Oscar takes it down. Going to have a 300K profit there. And let's see what the chat says. Somebody's saying the longer you play, the more you win. And it doesn't matter if it's cash or tournament, but there's always going to be the variance. Jay saying he likes the tournament. Folded around to the blinds. Oscar with the 7-4 of diamonds, just going to make the call. Zamora in the big blind with the Jack-9 will check his option, and heads up we will go. And Zamora had the best hand pre-flop and has the best hand again. Does go check, check. Check, check again. Yeah, Zamora does bet the turn, bets the minimum 100, and takes it down. All right, so what was the original question? How was it worded? You get more of a thrill from a tournament. I think, yeah, more of a thrill. There's definitely more opportunities. How's that? Let me give the politically correct answer. You do definitely have a lot more opportunities to have more thrills in a tournament because you're going to be you're going to be all in a lot more. You're going to be dealing with pay jumps and everything like that. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're playing like a 1-3 game and you're in for $300 and you play a $3,000 cash game pot, that's going to be pretty thrilling. Oscar with the ace-queen again. Does put on a big raise. Raises it more than 3x. We'll get through the blind. It looks like the cameras are corrected. Somebody mentioned WPT earlier, and they're bad about it. Poker Night in America is bad about it. When you're going through the YouTube, it says that it's live, but it's not. And it's fine. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with filming something and showing it later, but just don't tell us it's live. As I said, we are live. You can comment. We will show the comments. We will respond to the comments. All right, so I think they just got reset. So I think maybe next hand the cameras will be working. All the cameras, that is. Oscar in the cutoff here, just raising the last hand. Just going to call here with the queen jack. Probably should be coming in for a raise, especially with a stack of over 30 bigs. And he's going to bring along. Oh, Francis is going to go all in here with 16 bigs. Yeah, makes sense because there's really not a size in here that you're going to feel that comfortable with, because you definitely want to raise, but you have 2 limpers. So what are you going to do? You're going to make it like 400K or something? Basically have a fourth of your stack in there. Yeah, so Francis takes it down with the 9s. Yeah, tournaments can be very fun. Just because you have all those All those decisions. Like I said, you have a lot more opportunities in tournaments to have the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Oscar with the ace-jack, raising it up, 275. And he will flash the ace. So 5 players left. First place taking $7,500 off of a $20 buy-in. I believe one of these players is in for $20. I know for sure 2 of the players were in for $60. And then I also know another player that was in for $500. Oscar with the Jack-9 just won the previous hand. He'll take a break here as it does fall to Zamora with the 6-7. Oh, Francis going all in again. Really think she should have just raised it up here to about 250, 300. But she is slowly chipping up. Zamora lets it go. Francis lets it go. Coach Mike, he'll let it go. Battle of the blind, small blind versus big blind. Abraham in the small blind, seat 9. Let's see what he has. He's going to have the dolly part and working 9 to 5. And Oscar will get a walk. Walk it off. Walk it off. And it looks like somebody in the chat was in for $100. Somebody tuning in from Temple. Actually have some family in Little River. Yeah, stuff happens on live. And whenever you are live, stuff happens. Coach Mike with the ace-king should be raising it up to at least 250. For those of you not familiar with Temple, it's basically Central Texas, north of Austin. Takes it up to 350. I do think this sizing is too much. I mean, you do want to get value out of your hands when you do get them. And looks like he will get no resistance. That's, I mean, it just depends. Some of the players are playing to ladder up, and that's why you see them get tighter at the final tables. So you just kind of have to adjust. If you notice that a player's overfolding, then you can attack. Coach Mike with another ace suited. I like 300. He's probably going to go 350. He just calls. Okay. Yeah, you're basically giving the small blind and a big blind a very good price. And let's see if it's going to work out for him. He's somehow going to still have the best hand with the ace high. It does check to Coach Mike. And he's going to put on a bet here. Going to be up to 150 as blinds are getting ready to go up next hand. See, blinds will go up to 75, 150 next hand. Oh, Zamora making the call here with... What is Zamora making the call here with? With 9 high? And Francis going to make the call as well. Every hand for hand, looking for a 7. And she gets the 7. 850,000 in the middle. And Francis moving all in. Really feel like she's missing out on value. But as I said, everybody's an expert when they can see the cards. Also, I played Friday and Saturday of this event, and I did not make the final table, and these people made the final table, so pay no attention to the man behind the mirror. Okay, so blinds are going up, and we do have a player officially in the danger zone. So 1.5 million is going to be 10 bigs, and Abraham in seat 9, who is going to be under the gun +2, he is in the danger zone now. So Coach Mike, first to act, has the dog, the K9. He will let it go. Abraham with the pocket 5s should be going all in here. And there's the all in. Ooh, Zamora with the pretty queen jack, but he's going to let it go. And Omar, the chip leader, asking for a count. Maybe if the queen 10 was suited, he could come along. But he will let it go. So Abraham in the danger zone. And now he has just over 10 big blinds. But keep in mind, we are only, what are we, 6-handed or 5-handed? 6-handed. So we're 6-handed. Abraham with just over 10 big blinds. He's going to be first to act. He's going to be under the gun here. Francis with less than 20 big blinds. Not necessarily in the danger zone, but really do have to tighten up your range. Can't get too creative when you have less than 20 bigs. So Abraham, the short stack, will be first to act here under the gun. He's got an ace, but I think this is a fold. I don't know. This is close. If he had less chips, I think maybe it's an all-in, but I think he just needs to fold here. Maybe if it was suited. Oh, this is the worst option. The call-in is definitely the worst option. And you can see Omar here with the ace-10. Should be put it on a raise here. And it's a big raise. He's raising it 5x. This is one of the reasons why the limp in here with the short stack was... Oh, he's going to go all in. Yep. He's going to have to get lucky. Now, there are a lot of possibilities for a chop pot. There are a lot of possibilities for a chop pot. So, Abraham wants the board to pair. He would prefer an 8, but the board pairing will give him some more outs. That's not it, so needs the 8. A 6 works now. Oh, he gets the 6! So the chip leader taking a hit. Abraham getting very lucky. So the dealer will count it down, and Abraham will no longer be our short stack. That designation will go to Francis, but she still has more than 10 bigs. Not in the danger zone quite yet. Yeah, definitely not the ideal play with the ace-8, but it only has to work one time. And a lot of times that's tournament poker for you. And that's why some people love or hate tournaments. You make the wrong move at the right time. So perhaps Abraham making the wrong move at the right time. And sometimes you make the right move at the wrong time. Oscar with the 3s here should be coming in for a raise. He min clicks it up to 300. Oh, Zamora with the ace-king should be putting it on a 3-bet. I don't know what Oscar's going to do with these 3s because he always feels like Zamora is up to something. But this time Zamora does have a hand. Oh, Zamora says all in. Yeah, you can't call it off with 3s here. Even if you think that your opponent is messing around, you cannot call it off with 3s. And Zamora has him covered as well. Yeah, Oscar lets it go. Lost the minimum. Raises the minimum, loses the minimum. Yeah, the ace-8, that's why it's such a beautiful game. Well, there's 2 sides to every story. I actually got some charts loaded up. I mean, granted, they were 9-handed charts, but it'll give you an idea. We'll look at some of these charts later. Some of these charts that you talk about. Runner, runner, nothing funner. Oh, Zamora just had ace-king. Now he has aces. And how much is he going to raise it up to? He's going to raise it up too much, I think. Raises it up to 500. Yeah, should have gone. Yeah. Coach Mike would have called a smaller raise. Abraham has a pretty 9-8 suited, but this is too big of a race for him to take cards. Yeah, I did let the production crew know about it. Our technician is the same technician from Texas Card House, Dallas. So they are aware of the camera issue. They are working on it. They send me a text that they're working on it, and I will ask for an update. Francis first stack, and a min raises it up to 300. Oh, and Abraham with the queens. Is he going to be going all in? I think he might be going all in. He's definitely going to be re-raising. Oh, and he puts on the $1 million raise. So does Francis call the extra 600,000, or does she let go of her ace 10 suited? Francis thinking. And looks like she's going to let it go. So nice fold from Francis, as Abraham will take it down. Francis still the short stack. She does flash an ace, but once again, she is in the danger zone. She still has more than 10 bigs. Less than 20, but more than 10. Has a 2.4 in her stack. And Oscar, right, has 19 bigs in his stack. And it's really funny because it really doesn't matter how many chips you have. It matters how many big blinds you have. So Omar, your chip leader, does announce a race with his ace, and it's a big race. 580. Coach Mike not going to be able to call that. So 3x would be 450, right? Yeah, 3x would be 450. So raising it more than 3x here. Francis with an ace in the big blind. She'll let it go. And the production crew from Dallas just answered me on the cameras that they are still working on it. Might have to do another reset. The problem is if we do a reset, then we lose the YouTube feed, so we might just carry on with what we have. But as I said, they are working on it. Folded around to Zamora. I like coming in for a race here. I like 350 or 325. No, 350. I like a raise here with these suited connectors. He's going to raise it to 450. But I do understand why he sized it up, because the chip leader is in the big blind. Yep. Right when I said I like 350, I saw the big blind was the chip leader, so he did size it up. So nice raise and take from Zamora. And if you ever have made any deep runs in tournaments, you know you got to be stealing those blinds, chipping up. Zamora now second place in chips. So once again, the white chips there are worth 25K. And the gold chips are worth 100K. So Abraham with the 10-4, he will be letting that go. Oscar looking down at the 7 deuce, quick fold. Zamora just won the previous hand. He likes to see flops, but he's gonna let it go. Francis King Jack just makes the call from the button. Omar will fold his 8 deuce, and Coach Mike, Coach Mike has a better hand, the ace jack. Oh, he announces all in. Yeah, Francis should be able to get away from this. And she will. So Francis, still the short stack, but still has more than 10 big blinds, not in the danger zone yet. Still has some maneuvers. Oscar with the natural 9. We'll let it go. Zamora also with a natural 9 lets it go. Francis with a 9 high. She gets out of the way. King 8 on the button as the chip leader. I think anything is good here, a fold or a raise. I don't like the call. That was the third option. And Omar taking the third option. And both blinds will call, and we will go 3 ways to a flop of ace high. Both his opponents hit in a 5. Bottom pair. I do expect it to go check all the way through. Abraham with bottom pair, some backdoor draws available. And it does go check all the way through. Actually, actions on Omar here. Limped on the button with the king 8. And he's gonna bet. This bet really doesn't make sense, because if he had an ace, he would be raising on the button. Let's see if his opponents figure it out. His opponents don't figure it out, so just using the power of the chips, Omar bullying the blinds. Oh, and he shows. He showed. I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like your opponents already think that you're bullying them since you have the chip lead. But if you confirm their suspicions, you're not going to be able to get away with it much longer. So he does have over 7 million in his stack as we get ready for a hand, the next hand here. Zamora with the 8-6. That's in the muck. Francis mucking as well. Omar, who just won the previous hand, will let go of his hand. Coach Mike also folding, and it's the battle of the blinds. So Omar with 75K in. Oh, Oscar should be raising here. Punish the limpers. Should be raising here with the king queen. Let's see if he does. Yeah, he does. He announces 550. And Abraham should be getting out of the way. He was already halfway in, decided to try to take a cheap flop. But his opponent is not going to let him take the cheap flop. I don't know if he would limp any weak ace. I don't know. But his opponents thought that he would. That's all that matters. All right, blinds are up. 100, 200. So we do have Francis in the danger zone. And Francis is first to act here. Has an ace. It's kind of like the situation we saw earlier from Abraham. If it's an ace 10, I think it's a jam. If it's an ace 9, I think it's a fold. But we'll take a look at some charts after this hand. As Abraham has the Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors, so 3 and a 1. Just makes the call from the button. Oscar should probably be folding this. He is halfway in, though, so he might get tempted, and he does. Zamora halfway in. We'll check his option. And 3 ways to the flop we go. Oscar hit into 10. Zamora open-ender. Abraham with naranjas. And Oscar's going to lead out here. Did he bet the minimum? No, he bets 425, so bets about half pot with his pair of 10s. Zamora is not going to fold an open-ender. So he's going to be calling, possibly raising. Abraham will get out of the way. But Zamora here with the Jack-9 has an overcard to the board and is open-ended. We saw Zamora call it off earlier with a draw. And he's going to call this raise. Easy fold for Abraham here with the ace. Into the turn we go. Zamora, 11 outs available. But that's not one of them. So now Oscar at 69% to win the hand. And this is one of the awkward spots. Led on the flop and is now checking the turn, as this pot is already over 1.6 million, and it does go check, check. And Oscar going to wind up with 3 pair. And let's see what type of bet he puts out here. 1.6 in the middle. Does he check call? Going to check call. He's going into check call mode, and his opponent's not going to bluff. So Oscar will take the pot, add $1 million to his stack. And Francis is in the danger zone. So we have some charts here. This is at a 9-handed table, but this is from the cutoff. So basically the hands in green should be going all in. The hands in white are borderline, and the hands in red are fold. This is assuming you have 10 big blinds, which is Francis's stack. And this is from the cutoff, so basically like we're nine-handed here. So that gives you an idea on what type of hands you should be going all in with, what type of hands you should be folding. Like I said, that's for nine-handed. We're six-handed now. AC Deucey for Omar, doesn't want to mess around with it. There's 500,000, so $500,000 in the middle before a player acts. When you take into account the blinds and the antes. Oh, Abraham here should be raising. Did he fold the ace-9 suited? Wow. All right, Oscar should be raising. I like 550. What does Oscar like? Oscar likes just the call. Remember, aggression in Hold'em is awarded, especially in tournaments. So now you're going to let in the small blind and the big blind. And at this point, you're really... Oh. So this is actually a good all-in from Francis. And let's see if Oscar's able to make the call. I like this all-in for Francis. It might work. It might get the best hand to fold here. Yep, it does get the best hand to fold. So nice move by Francis. So even though Francis won that hand, she is still the short stack, but she now has more than 10 bigs, so no longer in the danger zone. But now, okay, she was this big blind last hand, so now she's small blind. So she's out of the danger zone for now. Coach Mike with the Queen 8 offsuit. Should be letting it go. Got to be really patient in tournaments. And that's why some people don't like to play tournaments, because you do have to be patient. Abraham folding the ace-9 last hand, folds the ace-9 again. Maybe he has history with that hand. Maybe he hates that hand. Oscar with the suited jack from the cutoff. Probably should be coming in for a raise, but the chip leader is the big blind, so sometimes players do avoid the big blind, big stack if possible. So the big blind is the big stack. Zamora with the suited connectors. Just going to be making the call here. Francis folding, and Omar checking his option. And Omar going to hit a tray. Zamora going to hit a 4. 700K in the middle. And Omar's going to lead out here to 250. Zamora with a bunch of backdoor draws and a pair will make the call. And to the turn we go. Jack changing nothing. Let's see if Omar slows down. Omar does slow down. Zamora checks behind. Omar 8 or a 3, and he hits the 8. And I know I'm sounding like I'm being result oriented, but Zamora limped with the 6-4. If he would have raised the 6-4, both blinds would have folded, and he would have picked up the blinds and antes. Instead, he is going to lose this pot. How much is Omar going to bet? Now, diamonds did miss. The straight draws missed as well, so Zamora might make a hero call here. Big bet here, though, from Omar. And Zamora will let it go. So Omar perhaps getting a little too greedy. But Omar is chip leader. Has over 7 million, almost 8 million. Zamora in at 4 million and Oscar almost at 4 million. Coach also almost at 4 million. And Abraham almost at 3 million. Francis short stack, but still has over 10 bigs. Battle of the blinds here. Omar with the best of it right now. But Coach Mike going to outflop him with the 7. Omar checks. It does go check, check. Coach Mike picking up a straight draw now. Should be betting here if it goes check to him again. But he's going to check back. Any 6, any jack makes a straight. And it is going to go check, check again. So next player out going to be taking home $1,350 as we do have 6 players left. First player out was Chubbs, followed by Ruben, and then followed by Jesse. Jesse did win $1,000. He was in for $60, so a net profit of $990 for Jesse. Everybody going after the first place, $7,500. So Abraham in the big blind. First to act will be Oscar. Oscar with the suited computer hand. Probably on the button you could be playing this, but not under the gun. And Oscar agrees. Zamora with the ace. Does have over 20 bigs, so if he wants to take the aggressive route on his hand, nothing wrong with that. It's one of those spots where either decision is correct, a raise or a fold. He's going to raise it up to 550. Uh-oh, Omar with the ace-queen. Should be putting on a 3-bet here to about 1.5. See if he puts on the 3-bet. Put in the chips to work. I like 1.5, maybe 2 million, but keep in mind your opponent started the hand with 3.5. So somewhere between 1.5 million and 2 million is, I think, the proper 3-bet here. Omar just flats here. It might bring along the big blind, or the big blind might go all in here. Abraham should be calling here with the 7s. He already has 200 in, so another 350 for him. He could also go all in, and that's what he's choosing, the aggressive route. And I feel like any of those plays was correct as well, either just calling with the sevens and going set mining or going all in. Omar has to call it off here. And he does call. So we got ourselves a race. Oh, Abraham way out in front. This should be a 50-50, but there has been some aces and queens folded. Oh, and Abraham with the big double up. And I believe that will take him to the chip lead. So Omar winning the race. The dealer will count it down, and we're going to have a new chip leader with 6 left here in the 10K in a day from the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley.
2,760,000.
Exact count being 2,760,000. So Omar's still going to have over 20 bigs after taking the hit, but he is no longer going to be the chip leader, as that distinction is going to go to Abraham. So dealer will count it down. They will get the pot pushed to Abraham. And we have a new chip leader with 6 to go. Abraham now at the top with 6.3 million. Francis still the short stack, but not quite in the danger zone yet. And Omar, even though he took that hit, he's still second place in chips. Zamora with the suited ace. I do like a raise to 420 or 425. Let's see what Zamora says. Zamora raised it, I think, to 550 last time with an ace in his hand. Now he has a suited ace. Oh, he's going to let it go, so understandable. Didn't work out for him last time, and Omar, who just lost the previous pot, jumping right back in, just making the call here with the Queen 10 offsuit. And it'll fold around to the blinds. Abraham, your new chip leader with the pretty Jack 8 suited, will complete. And Oscar will check his option as we go 3 ways to a flop of 800K in the middle. Pots are starting to get big. Everybody misses. First to bet's going to win. And it's going to go check around on the flop as Abraham hits his 8. Omar picks up spades, and Oscar is officially drawn dead. I think Omar should bet here. It's gone check twice to him. This is one of the advantages of playing position. Oscar going to hit his tray. And it's going to go check all the way through. So Abraham, going to be winning back-to-back pots. And that might take him to over 7 million. No, 6.9 million. As the blinds are getting ready to go up. So Francis is going to be in the danger zone here pretty soon. Blinds are going to be going up to, I believe, 150, 300. Maybe 125, 250. Don't have the structure in front of me, but they're going to be going up here in the next hand. Zamora will be big blind. Francis will be first act. To be or not to be? That is the question. Not to be. She will be folding. Omar does the same. Coach Mike with the ace. Should be coming in for a raise from the cutoff. But he folds. Abraham, the chip leader, with the 6-7. He's thinking about it, making a move here on the button. Yeah, he's going to raise it to 400,000. And Oscar should be jamming here. Pretty straightforward jam. You got less than 20 bigs. Wow, Oscar just calls here with the ace-jack. And this is probably going to bring along Zamora for the min race. Zamora making the call here. And Oscar's going to hit top pair. Should be checking here and does. Zamora hitting bottom pair. And Abraham hitting a gut shot. It does go check all the way around. And now Oscar should be putting out a bet of about 800, I would say. How much is he going to bet? He's going to bet 675, and that'll get the job done. So in Oscar's defense, he did make an extra 200,000 by just calling, as the small blind did complete. Abraham just saving face here. Not going to be able to call with a gut shot, but doesn't want to let his opponents know. So saving face. So Oscar will take it down, take his chips stack up to over 4.5 million. And blinds are going up. I believe it is it's 153. Yeah, 150, 300. So they will. Yeah, 150, 300. So Francis officially in the danger zone, less than 10 bigs. And you can see the bottom right. They're getting the proper amount of chips that are in the middle. Yeah, it'll be 750. 153 are the blinds. So action is on Omar. He will make the quick fold. Coach Mike, let's see what he has. He should be folded. Abraham, your chip leader. Let's see what he has. He's in C9. He has the ace queen. So 150, 300 should be obviously at least 600. Somewhere between 600 and 700. Just calls. Some nice suited connectors for Zamora, and that's going to bring him in. Now let's see what Francis has. Zamora going to be completing, and now Francis. Yeah, Francis going all in. Abraham will be making the quick call here, and Francis going to have to get lucky. A paired board does give her some outs. Oh, she hits the 6. Abraham down to the queen, and Francis will double up. So both times, the ace rag getting it all in against the ace queen, and both times the ace rag finding a double up. Last time it was Abraham that had the ace 8, was able to double up against the ace queen, and now he has the ace queen, and he's going to double up Francis with the ace 6. So Francis no longer in the danger zone. She will secure the double up. Abraham taking taking a hit to his stack. And he is going to essentially have the same amount of chips that Francis has, 4.5 million. So we have 4 players with 4.5 million. And then Coach Mike almost at 4 million. And then Zamora is your short stack. And he's in the danger zone because blinds are up. Blinds are 150, 300. So Zamora in the danger zone.
North, table 9. Eight fold, 9 fold, 3 fold.
Oscar folding an ace from the cutoff. Zamora cannot call here. He needs to be going all in or folding.
5 calls.
And he just calls. Omar with the 6-7. Somehow Zamora has him dominated.
Heads up.
66% of the time, Zamora will win the hand. Both players hitting a 6.
7 checks. 5 checks.
It does go check, check. Omar picking up some more outs to chop the pot. And Samora's going to win this hand if it goes to showdown. A $1 million pot. It's going to take his stack up to over 3 million. Once again, if it goes to showdown, Omar can bluff here. Omar's thinking about bluffing. He's going to have to put out a good bet here. At least 500,000. Maybe $1 million.
What happened to my What happened to my coffee?
Oh, I haven't.
No, yeah, what happened to my coffee? Oh my god.
Yeah, it goes check, check. He does not bluff. Thought about pulling the trigger, thought too long, and checks it back. And Zamora is going to be adding to his stack. And now Zamora no longer in the danger zone. So lost 3 players pretty quick, and we've been 6-handed for a while. As we have 4 players with at least 4 million in the stack within their stack. And both Coach Mike and Zamora in the 3 million mark. Abraham with the fold, folding the king crab. Oscar with the suited ace, should be raising here to, let's see, 300, 600. I like 700. Who's in the big blind?
3 calls.
Oh, he just calls. Just calling.
5 calls.
That's going to bring along Zamora with the suited cards. And then Omar also has suited cards. Yeah, even if Oscar wins this hand, I really feel like he should be raising ace-3 suited in the hijack 6-handed. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Aggression is normally rewarded in Hold'em, especially in a tournament. Coach Mike just going to check his option, and we're going to go 4 ways to a $1.5 million pot. So 1.5 million in the middle. Pick me, dealer. And Oscar should be putting on a small bet here. He has a gut shot. Let's see. So probably like 700. No, 600. 600 is a good bet. Don't have to go too big. 1.5 in the middle. Half is 750. What's a third of that? 325. Yeah. Yeah, I like a bet of 600 here. And this is not based upon seeing that the other players don't have anything. This is based upon having the flush, having the straight draw. And Coach Mike hit in the 7. Zamora hit in a flush draw. And Coach Mike going to bet his 7 here to the tune of $1 million. It's very believable that he has a 4 here. Yeah, Oscar going to let it go. Zamora now picking up a flush draw, and he has a straight draw as well, right? A 5 gives him a straight. 4, 5, 6, yeah. So Zamora kind of has to call here. I don't know. It's a big bet. It's 2/3 pot. $1 million into 1.5. I don't know what the answer is. What's the answer, chat? Should Zamora? Because if he calls here, he's left with 2.1 million. Should Zamora call or fold here? It's definitely a decision. And I see his cards, I see the other player's cards, and I don't know the answer. Zamora's going to call. And look at all the outs he has. An 8 works as well. There's the diamond. Oh, Coach Mike announces all in. Zamora's going to be calling. He hit the flush. Coach Mike announcing all in. Zamora hasn't called yet, but he is. You call to see a diamond, you hit your diamond, you cannot fold. Oh, it's a straight flush draw, so yeah. 5 of diamonds was a straight flush, so yeah, you have to call. You call the $1 million on the turn, you hit your flush, you got to call it off. Even if your opponent has a full house here or has a better flush, you got to call it off. Coach Mike actually thinks that he might be good right now. So he limped with the 8-6 of diamonds, calls $1 million bet on the turn, and you make your hand. You just got to call it off here. Even if you think you're beat, your hand is too strong. Coach Mike does have Zamora covered by about 300,000, so Coach Mike will not be out, but Zamora has to make this call. I'm sure he's, yeah, he makes the call finally. So huge double up for Zamora. Coach Mike going to be left with 275,000, not even enough for a big blind. And he's going to be the small blind next time. So they will count it down. Coach Mike is going to be on fumes. Going to be left with crumbs. I don't think it was the knit row, and once again, probably about the 5th time I've said this. everybody's an expert when they can see the cards, but it was for his tournament life. I mean, it was for his tournament life, and a full house beat him, a bigger flush beat him. He did think about it, but it wasn't for like an extraordinary amount of time. I think on the surface it might look like a knit row, but when you factor everything in, I don't think that was a knit row. Like I said, on the surface it looks like a knit row, but so Zamora, the new chip leader, in at 7.7. Oscar under the gun will fold the jacket. Zamora just went in the last 10. We'll take a break. Coach Mike just has to go all in. All in blind. So blind versus blind. Ooh. And his opponent has 9s. So Coach Mike going to have to get really lucky to double up. Needs to hit king. Runner straights available. Only a king left. And Coach Mike will be our 6th place finisher for the night. So Coach Mike, he did qualify for the event today. We had 3 starting flights, 1 Friday, 1 Saturday, and 1 today. At 12 noon, we had a turbo. He qualified, and he is going to get up to, he's going to take home $1,350. So nice run for Coach Mike. We are down to 5. Yeah, because if Zamora calls and he's wrong, his chance for winning the $7,500 is out the door. So whatever it's for your tournament life, I do understand. Something that on the surface might look like a knit roll, when you really break it down, it's just taking the extra time. So Zamora, chip leader, raising it up under the gun here with the suited jack. It's going to get a fold from the better hand. Oscar making the call with the suited connectors. And Oscar does not want to see a 7. Zamora hitting a jack should put on maybe about 400,000 continuation bet here and take it down. 4 to 5. How much is it? He bet 700,000. So then there were 5, and nobody in the danger zone yet, but Oscar close, as he does have over 10 big blinds, but he only has about 12 big blinds, so close to the danger zone. He's going to be small blind. Zamora big blind. Action on every hand Fran, and it'll be a couple quick folds around to Abraham, who will be folding as well. Battle of the blinds, and let me show you the chart after this hand when it's the battle of the blinds. If you're out of the small blind, there's a lot of jamming you're doing in this situation. Now this is 9-handed, but since it's blind versus blind, this chart is pretty close to what the ranges are going to be. This is if you have 10 big blinds. If you have 10 big blinds and it is folded around to you in the small blind, so it's small blind versus big blind. Basically anything queen 10, queen 7 and above, you're going to be going all in. You can see there's a lot of profitable plays you can make with some speculative hands. Blind's getting ready to go up. So Oscar's going to be in the danger zone as well as Omar, as blinds will be going up to 200, 400 after this hand.
7 raises to 700,000.
Omar raising it up with the queen 10. I think that might be a show. Oh, Oscar with the aces. Slam dunk all in. Both of these players with 3 million in their stack. Both of them now going to be in the danger zone after this hand. There's the all in. And Omar not going to be able to call it off here. And he will be the new short stack. Omar tried to make something with the queen 10, but he'll let it go. So Oscar no longer in the danger zone, that the blinds are up now to 200, 400, but Omar is after getting a bit frisky with the queen 10. Blinds are up to 200 and 400. And Omar and Francis in the danger zone. Francis pretty experienced in tournaments, and we've seen her make the proper moves when she is in the danger zone. She knows she has less than 10 big blinds, and she knows she has to pick a hand. She picked king queen earlier, picked ace 6 suited earlier, and she's been surviving as we are down to the final 5 here. Action is going to be on Abraham, the chip leader. He will let it go. You can see there's already $1 million in the pot before we see cards. A little surprised that Oscar folded the ace there. Yeah, so Francis with the 7-4, it was either an all-in or a fold. She folded. So Omar will get the much-needed walk as he's still the short stack. So both Omar and Francis, less than 10 bigs. This is one of the things about tournaments. The blinds go up, so you cannot wait to pick up premium hands. You just kind of have to sometimes pick a hand and go with it, and based upon the math, you should get it through. It essentially forces your opponents to pick up good cards, and sometimes even they pick up the good cards and still fold. So same deal we saw with Francis earlier out of the small blind with Omar. It was pretty much an all-in or a fold, the small blind, and the ranges are pretty wide when it folds to you here in the small blind. Essentially, the hands you see in the green, you can see the percentages. Those are the hands you should be going all in with. When it is folded to you in a small blind, you have less than 10 big blinds. There's so many hands that are like really close to being a positive play or just barely a negative play. Abraham with the ace. Let's see if he gets tricky. No, he announces raise. 1.2 million, quick fold from Oscar. Yeah, even though he's a chip leader, he doesn't have a ton of chips, as the blinds are 200, 400, so 4 million is 10 bigs. And he started the hand with about 500, about 5 million. Oh, this is, I'm pretty sure this, yeah, this is an all-in from Francis. Oh, she folded. Okay. Ace 5, less than 10 bigs under the gun. I'm pretty sure that's an all-in. But maybe it worked out for her because it looks like Abraham picked up a hand. And everybody's going to fold. Sizing's too big in my opinion. Should be going to $1 million instead of 1.2. 2.5 bigs at this point. Just because the stack sizes are starting to get shallow. Normally early on in the tournament, you're raising 3 to 4x early on in the tournament when players have more chips to play with. But now that the stacks are shallow, you want to come in for either 2 to 2.5x on the raise. Abraham making it 3x. Standard open like in the middle of the tournament, but at the final table, like I said, when the stack sizes are more shallow. But maybe he sized it up because he knew that Zamora was in the big blind, so that might also be a factor too, which actually is kind of smart because he knows Zamora likes to see flops. He knows Zamora is the chip leader, so maybe if Zamora wasn't the big blind, maybe if Francis was the big blind, he would have made it $1 million, but he saw who the big blind was, so maybe that's why he sized up, and that makes sense. That does make sense. So 3 players in the danger zone, less than 4 million. Oscar, Francis, and Omar gonna have to see 2 cards that they like and just say all in. 2 cards that you like, not 2 cards that you love. Oscar announces all in here with the King 8 offsuit. What does Francis have? Francis not going to be able to call. So very good song, The Gambler, Kenny Rogers. And most of the stuff that he says is correct. But one thing that is wrong in the song is you never count your money when you're sitting at the table. And that is wrong, especially in tournaments. You always want to know how many chips you have, and more importantly, you want to know how many chips your opponent has. So RIP Kenny Rogers. Great song, but you always count your chips when you're sitting at a tournament table. Abraham, not going to be able to call. I said he was a chip leader, but actually Zamora's a chip leader. He's second place in chips. Folded around to the chip leader, Zamora. And Fran. Did Fran just call or did Fran go all in? Wow, Fran just calling here. Blind versus blind, slam dunk all in. And now she'll be going all in. So it's going to work out for Fran here. She's going to win the pot, but really think she should have gone all in here with the Jack 10 of clubs. And she'll take it down. Pretty sure the Jack 10 suited. As a matter of fact, I'm 100% sure it is on the chart here. Yeah, so out of the small blind, Jack 10 suited with the S. It is plus 1.4 profitability. I mean, even offsuit is plus 1.18. I said it earlier, I mean, Fran's very experienced in these spots. I am a little surprised she didn't go all in there. But it worked out. Zamora chip lead with the ace. Should be raising here. I like a raise to 900,000. $1 million at the most. $1 million at the most, Zamora. He raises 3x, makes it 1.5. Abraham with the 6-7 has hearts, and the action is on him. He's second in chips right now. Normally, the two top chip leaders stay away from each other in tournaments, and he's going to do just that. So Zamora will take it down, take his stack up to 8.8 million, the only player with more than 20 bigs. 2 players with more than 10 bigs, and 2 players with less than 10 bigs. As a matter of fact, Omar is really in the danger zone as he has just over 5 big blinds. I believe he's going to be the button here. Yeah. He's the button here. So he essentially needs to pick a hand within the next 3 hands here. He cannot pay the blinds again. He needs to pick a hand. And I think he folded. So he has 2 more hands to see. Abraham just calling. Oscar going all in here with the 5s as he should. Abraham's not going to be able to call. And Omar, like I said, with either this hand or the next hand, Omar's going to have to go all in because Zamora's going to be big blind this hand. And then Fran will be big blind next hand. And then Omar will be big blind in 3 hands. So within these next 2 hands, Omar's going to have to pick something because he cannot pay the blinds again. When he only has 5 big blinds, he will be putting in 2 blinds without seeing his cards. And not only that, since it is a big blind ante, you want to get full value. So Omar, either this hand or next hand, he has to go all in. What does he have this hand? Any ace? Maybe if it was suited. Yeah, if he's suited there, he goes all in, but he's not suited, so he's going to be left with essentially going all in the dark here. This next hand, Abraham should be folding here. Battle of the blinds. Yeah, Oscar announcing all in with the ace. Zamora will fold, and we will move on to the next hand. Show you the charts again. Now this is, if it's folded to you in the small blind and you have less than bigs, this is your range. Anything with a positive in front, and even if it has a negative, like negative 0.01, it's still not a terrible play. All right, so Omar's range here should be pretty wide. Even some connecting cards like a 6-7. Oh, it's 5-3, yeah. So Omar's pretty much going to be all in dark this next hand. He has 5 big blinds. 1 big blind is going to go to pay the ante, and 1 big blind is going to go to pay his big blind. So it's going to leave him with 3 big blinds behind. And the reason why you want to do it before is because now he's going to have to pay the big blind ante. So if he doubles up now, he's gonna double up to 8 bigs because he has 5 bigs, but one of them's the ante, so that doesn't count when he doubles up. The 4 other bigs will count. But if he would have doubled up the previous hand, he would have the max double up. He would get the 10 bigs instead of the 8 bigs. Doesn't seem like a huge deal, but trust me, when you are at this position at the final table, every blind matters. Even half a blind matters. So Abraham should be raising here, but he just calls. Zamora's probably going to call here with these suited connectors. And this might work out for Omar, is he's going to be able to do a stop and go. Oh, he has an ace. He might go all in. Yeah, here's the all in. But like I said, since he had to put out one of the blinds in the ante, Abraham should just be calling here to bring Zamora along. But he's going to go all in to isolate. And Omar's not in terrible shape. Omar's favorite, 60-40. What does Zamora have? 4 deuce of clubs? Jack available for Abraham. Jack still available for Abraham. And Omar will get the double up. No, the charts are not allowed while you're playing. The charts are not allowed while you're playing. But that's why when you hear poker players say that they were studying, they're studying different situations. So you kind of want to have the charts not necessarily memorized, but you want to have the basic understanding. So charts aren't allowed while you're playing, but if you step away from the table and you want to look at a chart or something like that, then that's fine as long as you're not in a hand. But if you're sitting at your table involved in a hand, that comes back to the one player per hand. So you can't be getting any sort of RTA, which is real-time assistance. Abraham, after he doubled up Omar, is now in the danger zone. Francis still there with less than 10 bigs. And you can see the blinds are going up here in 3 minutes. So Oscar will let go. Zamora will let go. And Francis should be having a pretty wide range here in the button. Oh, there's an all-in. Yeah, there's an all-in right there. Less than 10 bigs. You got an ace. You're on the button. Rip City. Francis says all in. Omar has a decision here. This is interesting. This is an interesting spot for Omar, but he just doubled up. And it's very different when you're going all in with King Jack as opposed to calling an all in. Wow. Damn, everybody's taking shots at me today. Fletcher started off early on with the shots, and now I'm getting a shot from Jose, who, might I add, also did not make day 2. I saw you play, Jose. You didn't make day 2 either. So now Abraham, after he doubled up Omar, is in the danger zone. Less than 10 bigs. He's got to pick a hand and go with it. That's the great thing and the worst thing about tournaments. Jack 8 suited, I think you go with it on the button. So it's going to fold around to the chip leader. And Abraham probably going to have to go with this. Yeah, so Abraham has 2 hands to go with. We saw this earlier with Omar, but he's going to be the big blind in 3 hands. Right now, Fran is big blind. Next hand, Omar will be big blind. And then Abraham will be the big blind. So he wants to max his double up opportunity by going all in this hand or the next hand. Oh, Omar with the sixes. This is interesting. Very, very interesting here for Omar. Because you know you have a shorter stack to your left. So this is one of those spots where I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that's not the answer. The call-in is not the answer there. It's either a fold or a raise. Call-in is not the answer. And now what does Oscar do here on the button? The fact that Omar raised, yeah, he's just going to call. This hand playing very different. Francis will be in the big blind. Yeah, Zamora needs to fold. I know you're chip leader. I know it's an extra 200, but you have 8-3 offsuit. Zamora needs to fold. Zamora does not like to fold. Zamora calls. Francis checks her option. And we have $2 million in the pot. And does Omar go all in here? I think you just go all in, and if somebody has a 10, they have a 10. I mean, there's one overcard to your pocket pair. There's $2 million in the middle. Somebody has, should at least be betting here. Yeah, it's hard to bet fold with your chip stack. But he's going to try it. He's going to put the minimum bet out there. And I don't think Zamora's folding for the minimum bet. Zamora does call for the minimum bet. And he's looking for an 8 or a tray. And it'll be a hard. He picks up more outs. And it's going to go check, check. Zamora going to have a chance. And he's going to miss. It'll be gangster if you put Omar all in here. Now he's going to check. He's not a gangster. So Omar going to hold on with the sixes. And Abraham gonna pretty much be all in this hand or the next hand. Yeah, and blinds have gone up, so Abraham, oh, he has more than 5 bigs. But just barely. So this hand or the next hand, we're probably going to see Abraham all in. Oh, yeah, there's an all in right there. And he's basically forcing his opponents to pick up hand. And depending on the opponent, I mean, they might even fold a small pocket pair here. But just putting max pressure here. Well, let's see if Zamora calls it off here with the ace. It's close. Keep in mind, blinds just went up, so even though Zamora's the chipper, he doesn't have a ton of big blinds here. And I don't think he's going to be able to call. He's asking for a count. Yeah, he's not going to be able to call. As I said, he is the chip leader, but he doesn't have like mountains of chips. Yeah, he makes the fold. Ooh, Omar had the suited ace. The good news is Abraham got it through. The bad news is he's going to be big blind. So he won 2.5 big blinds, and now he's going to put 2 of them out. So we are down to 5 in the 10K in a day here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. It was a $20 entry and $10 add-ons available, unlimited add-ons available. Some players were in for 20, some players were in for 60. I know a player who bought in for $1,000. They got $1 million in chips. They did not make day 2. Oscar folding the ace here. I think Oscar is right now trying to ladder up. Omar making the call here. And he might get in trouble. Omar flopping a pair. His opponent flopping top pair. Abraham should be going all in here. 1.5 in the middle. He's going to put out a min bet of 500. What does Omar do? I mean, you have a pair. It's a min bet. $2 million in the pot. Costs you 500 to see a 9 or a 5 on the turn. He's going to let it go. I'm a little surprised that he called the extra 250 with the 9-5, and I'm even more surprised that he folded to a min bet. But as I said earlier, these guys are at the final table, and I'm commentating in the booth. So obviously whatever they're doing is working out for them. So 3 players in the danger zone. Francis the short stack. She has over 2.5, so she'll be able to go through the blinds one more time if need be, but she's going to be going all in here with the King 10 suited. And everybody's going to fold, and she will add 1.2 million to her stack. And check that out. She goes from short stack to second place in chips. That's how big these blinds are. She was a short stack. Now she's second place in chips after that win. And action is on Francis. Every hand, Fran. It's a pretty hand, but you have less than 10 big blinds, so you gotta let that go, and she knows it. I'm not hating on the 6-4 suited. I'm not saying that it's not a pretty hand. But at the final table of the tournament with less than 10 big blinds, you can't play it. You want to play it, but you can't play it. Well, I take that back. You shouldn't be playing it. Blind versus blind here. What does Oscar do? Less than 10 bigs. I think everything's open here. The raise, fold, or call, and he does the call, and he doesn't want to hit a jack, but he's going to actually flop pretty good here. 6 for a straight, 8 for a pair, or he can go runner diamond. It's probably going to go check, and does. Oh, and Zamora going to hit his 10. Now Oscar can hit a 9 for a straight, as well as a 6. Zamora should be betting here, though. You have top pair, blind versus blind. 700, maybe? Bets $1 million. And I know he's double gutted. Can't call. Because if you call here and you miss, you're left with 2.9. And the blinds are 250, 500. So cash game, you're calling this all day. Early on in the tournament, you're calling this all day. Final table with 5 to go with less than 10 bigs. You just got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. He's definitely thinking about it. Pretty sure he's going to come to the conclusion to fold. He knows what I just said. If he calls here and doesn't make his hand, he's going to be left with less than $3 million. And he will let it go. Zamora will show the 10. He says it was a big laydown, and he's going to see his jack wasn't good either, so it really wasn't that big of a laydown. And with that loss, he is now the short stack. He'll be able to go through the blinds one more time because he has more than 5 big blinds, but obviously he's going to have to pretty much pick a hand. Abraham with the ace. It's close. All right, the battle of the blinds. Folded around to the blinds. What's the next pay jump here? Yeah, so 5th, 1750, and 4th, 2350. So difference of $600 going out in 4th and going out in 5th. Zamora hit into king. Let's see if he gets sneaky. He's pretty comfortable that Francis doesn't have an ace because if she had an ace, she would have gone all in. And he's not going to get tricky. He's just going to bet his king and take it down. And if you're just tuning in, yes, we are aware that just the overhead camera is working. The production crew did try to fix it. Our technician from Texas Card House Dallas tried to fix it. And we would literally have to restart the YouTube stream. So we're just going to plow through it here as we're able to see everything else. We're able to see the players' cards, flop, everything else. Just not able to see the players themselves. Oscar Nelson all in with the 10s. And he wants a call here. I mean, even if somebody happens to have like kings here, he still wants a call. You got less than 10 bigs, you have a big pocket pair. You want somebody to call you. Even if you're beat, it's a cooler. Oh, wow. Well, we got a cooler. It turns out Oscar did not want to call. He's got spades, but he's going to have to get very lucky.
Good thing is if you hit it flat out.
Oh, there's the 10. Queen for fun? Oh, queen for fun. And as I said, like, it's 100% true statement there. You want to call with 10s, even if you're beat, it's a cooler. Sometimes it's your time to die. Sometimes it's your time to double up. And Oscar's going to be doubling up, and he might have Francis covered. They're going to count it down, and I do think he has Francis covered.
He went out like a champion. I see. It's you call me. I'm like, I know. Tell me the truth.
So very crazy hand there. I mean, the hands essentially played themselves, but the flop gave Oscar the lead, the turn, gave Fran hope with the open-ender. But the river gave Oscar the double up, and the dealer will count it down, and Francis, yeah. So valiant effort from every hand Fran. She will be taken home $1,750. And we are at our final four. First place up top, $7,500 from a $20 buy-in. You're reading what right. There was 129 entries, $20 buy-in. What's not listed is the add-ons. There was almost 2,000 add-ons for $10,000. As I said, some of these players in for $20, in for $60. I saw somebody buy in for $1,000. They got $1 million in chips. They did not make day two. They did not cash. So Oscar, your new chip leader with 4 left to go. As it's going to be the battle of the blinds. Oh, there's an all-in. Omar with the pocket threes. Should be saying all in. Showing he's only 53%, which means that Abraham has 2 overcards. Wow, he just calls here. I mean, Abraham will check his option. But you can see it's 50-50. Pocket threes out in front, but they cannot be happy with that flip. It's going to go check, check. Action Omar. Oh, he's actually betting the min bet 500. And it's going to work. So Omar taking an unconventional line earlier with 6s, and it worked out for him. And the unconventional line going to work out again with the trace. Yeah, me personally, I thought it was a slam dunk all in, but like I said, I'm here commentating. He's there playing for $7,500, so whatever he's doing is working for him. Which I mentioned that earlier. I mean, there's all different styles when it comes to playing poker. You want to find a style that works for you. Blind versus blind. Yeah, Omar lets go of the Doyle Brunson. And Abraham, I think, said all in? Or did he say call? And Abraham just calls. And Oscar will check his queen deuce. Oh! It was Omar that had the 10. I thought Abraham had the 10. Oh, nice bet here from Abraham. He's going to take it down. First to bluff wins. And he bluffed. And blinds are getting ready to go up again to 300, 600. Which means 2 play in the danger zone. Zamora, your new chip leader. Blinds 366. So Abraham, the short stack. Omar with the pretty 5 deuce of diamonds, but he'll let it go. Abraham will also be folding, and we're going to have the battle of blinds here. The 2 chip leaders. What does Oscar have? He has the jacket, the Jack 8, Jeff 8. Oh, Zamora with the pretty Queen 8 of diamonds. Oscar does not want to see an 8. Oh, he hits the Jack. I like a lead here from Oscar because you can be pretty sure that your opponent doesn't have an ace because it ain't raise. Oscar should be betting this turn. Wow, he checks again. Well, now you got to check the river. If you check the turn, you got to check the river. And he says, you're not the boss of me, and he's going to bet 500. So Oscar with the win. I believe blinds are up to 3-6. Yeah, blinds are up to 300, 600. So both Omar and Abraham with less than 10 big blinds, but not less than 5. So they are in the danger zone, but they're not like in super panic mode. Still have more than 5 big blinds. Oscar, your new chip leader. So that's a fold from Abraham. Oscar on the button. He folds. Battle of the blinds. Does Zamora get tricky? Does Zamora get tricky and just call? No, he's going to go all in and Omar will get away. Yeah, that's definitely true. That is definitely true. Oscar the Grouch. In Oscar's defense, I mean, I think I would be a grouch too if I lived in a trash can. Action will be on Oscar. The 2 small blind, the 2 blinds or the 2 short stacks. Oscar with the 10-4 will be letting that go. Zamora on the button. Should be raising it here. And as a matter of fact, you should just be putting your opponents all in here. You're the chip leader. They have less than 4 million. You're putting your opponents all in, and he does just that. Oh! Omar waking up with a hand. So Zamora ran into it here. He's going to have to get lucky. Going to need to hit a 7. Omar in great shape to double up here. It's still the right move. You have an ace on the button. You have twice as many chips. Oh, look at that. He hits the 7 right off the rip. Diamond for a chop. So Zamora will take it down, and Omar will be our 4th place finisher. So Omar, somebody told me he was just in for $20. It's true, but he takes that 20 and turns into $2,350. So next player out going to receive over $3,000 as we have 3 players left. So Fran getting unlucky, and now Omar getting unlucky. And Zamora, your command and chip leader with 3 to go. And it is a dead button. Yeah, I thought it was ace queen to ace 8 earlier, but Abraham announces all in. Oh, Oscar asking for a count. It's going to be a big hand if Oscar makes the call. Yeah, Oscar should be making the call here with an ace. Should be. I don't know if he is. Easier said than done.
175,000.
He makes the fold.
No, I had AC last week, but
Yeah, Oscar definitely going to look back at the stream and say, I should have called there. All right, so Abraham now on the button. Blinds are 300, 600. Little pause here in the action as the production crew catches up.
9 raises to 1 million. 1.2 billion.
Oh, Abraham raising it up here. So I was about to say, there becomes a point where it's fine to like try to ladder up early on, but there becomes a situation where it's like you're no longer trying to ladder up, you're trying to go for the win. And Abraham going to hit top pair here. And I think that time has come for Abraham. Next player out, I think, is going to get more than $3,000, and he's fine getting $3,000. He's going to turn up the aggression here. Somewhat not going to be able to call. And Abraham should be, yes, Abraham now has more than 10 bigs. So 6 million for Abraham, 7 million for Oscar, and 11 million for Zamora, whose real name is Alejandro, if you didn't know that. His nickname is Hondo. So Oscar with the king 5. Don't think he's going to get involved here. Zamora with the ace. Announces all in. Oh, Abraham might make the call here. I don't think this is a terrible call, especially if you're at the point where you're like, hey, I'm done laddering up. I'm going to try to win it. And you got to win races if you want to win a tournament. Oscar did fold a king, so that doesn't bode well for Abraham. And he lets it go. So it looks like Abraham knocked out Jose. So he's cheering for him. That way he could say he lost to the winner. Zamora should be folding this button. Does. Battle of the blinds. Abraham should be folding to 6-3 and does. And Oscar will take it down with the 9 high. So it is at 5 plus 7 is 12. So Zamora with essentially half the chips in play here. About 24 million in chips in play. Abraham with the pretty king 5 of hearts. See if he says all in. I think this is an all in. You got less than 10 bigs. You're on the button. You only need to get by 2 players. You have a suited king. And he's just going to raise it here. Had both his opponents dominated, they both have a 5. Zamora with the 7-5. It's going to be a min race for him to call. Zamora does have the chips to call, and Zamora likes to see flops. So let's see what he does. Zamora's going to see a flop. And Abraham going to be flopping hearts. You can see the pot's already 3 million. And Abraham has 3 million in his back. So should be going all in here once Zamora checks to him. He's going to bet 2 million, which makes his hand seem super strong. It seems like he has an 8. But either way, it's going to work. So Abraham chipping up here. As I said, nothing wrong with trying to ladder up early on in the final table, but there comes a point, or there should at least come a point where you got to say, all right, I got X amount of money locked up. Now we're going to go the high variance route and try to double up. So apparently love him or hate him, and he obviously has a lot of people that hate him, but Theo Helmuth, who does have the most bracelets of everybody. I mean, whether you think he's a good player or not, I mean, he does have the most bracelets of anybody, but apparently that's one of the reasons why he has so many bracelets, because he gets to the table and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about laddering up. He doesn't care about finishing 8th, 9th, 2nd, whatever. He's going for the bracelet, so he'll make some plays that are very unorthodox. Just going after that bracelet, and it has worked for him. And it's kind of funny because I believe it was Card Player who just interviewed him, and he's saying that since there's so many events nowadays that bracelets are becoming meaningless. So he likes to brag about having the most bracelets, but he's also saying that they're becoming meaningless. But as I said, that's one of the reasons why he has so many bracelets, is because he's not playing to ladder up. He's not playing to wait for a player to get knocked out. He's playing just for the bracelet, so he will take... He will take lines that are considered not GTO. Zamora should in here. Don't like an all-in. Do like a raise. I mean, somewhere between 1.2 and 1.5. And it's going to be 1.2. Abraham with the 6s might go all in here. Have more than 10 bigs. I personally just like a call. And this is not because I see that Zamora has jacks. This is just based upon my stack sizing. And he is going to go all in, and Zamora's going to make the call. So Abraham, not only does his opponent have an overpair, but he has both of his suits covered. The diamonds are covered and the clubs are covered. This is the worst. And Zamora hits a jack right off the rip. A spade for some chops. No, full house. That is it. It is over. Zamora going to be taking the pot and taking his stack up to 19 million. And we are going to go heads up for the title. So I believe Abraham did start that hand with more than 7 million. So you did have more than 10 bigs. But at the same time, I do think he was going for the win. And sometimes they have it. Most of the time, they're not going to have it. But sometimes they have it, and Zamora had it that time. So it's going to be heads up. Alejandro contra Oscar.
Maybe big blind somewhat up. Oh, you guys are counting? I didn't know.
So heads up. Winner taking home $7,500. Zamora actually already locked up $550 earlier as he did double bag here. So they are trying to figure out how many chips each player has to perhaps work a deal, but I think they're going to play. So what's the difference? It is $3,200.
Just pay it out. Yeah, we'll pay it out first. All right? So we have a deal. Wait, hold on. 7 and 5? Yeah, we're gonna do a deal. Well, do you want to take it right now, or do you want to pay it out for first and 7? Or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, the players are talking deal.
No, but you know what? Let's just pay it out. You're probably taking it. Let's just pay it out.
Okay, so you're gonna, the payouts are the same. That's what it is, right?
Well, I don't mind. I want to pay it out, but like I don't mind switching it where it's like 7 for first. But look, you know what? Let's just pay it out for us. Just pay it out.
Okay.
So Zamora offering Oscar $500. Oscar saying no deal. So it would have been $7,048.50. Oscar saying no deal. So heads up, here we come. No chop. We're playing. So essentially we're playing for $3,200. Is that correct?
5 checks, 3 checks,
Yeah, we're playing. We're playing. The chat says play.
5 checks, 3 checks, 5 checks.
And Oscar going to win the first hand heads up here. So the map's right on that, right? They're playing, it's $3,150. So essentially, they're playing for $3,000 here. Difference between first and second, roughly $3,000.
Hey, he's been playing real well.
Holy shit!
He's been playing real well.
Zamora was the only player to double bag on Friday night and then bagged on Saturday again. He did come to the table as the chip leader with 4 million in chips.
No deals have been talked about?
We were gonna do it, but I'd like let's just pay it out. You know, I want to be able to.
And let's see how aggressive Oscar is heads up. Obviously, a lot easier to be aggressive with the chip lead. Zamora hit in the tray. So Something a little bit different heads up. The button is actually the small blind and first to act pre-flop. And the big blind is second to act pre-flop. And then after the flop, they're first to act. So something a little bit different. Oh, we're on break. So players are on a 10-minute break. And while they take care of the break, I will remind you about the Trailblazer series.
The hunt starts now. Every stop, every hand, every point counts. Earn points by entering, registering on time, finishing in the money, and score multipliers with bigger fields. Climb the leaderboard and take your shot at the ultimate free roll prize pool. $100,000 in cold hard cash reserved for the grinders who rise to the top. Trailblazer Poker Tour Season 2 begins the 25th of September at TCH Dallas and TCH Social Las Colinas. Play more, earn more, climb to the top where you belong.
For more information, you can log on to texascardhouse.com. But here's the breakdown of the Trailblazers. It's going to make one stop at every location. There are 6 Texas Card House locations in the state of Texas. 2 in North Texas, 1 in the city of Dallas, 1 right next door in the city of Irvin. That's going to be the Las Colinas area to be exact. Then there's 2 locations in East Texas, 1 in the city of Houston, and 1 north of Houston, north of the airport in the city of Spring. 1 location in South Texas, that's us. The area down here is known as the Rio Grande Valley, and we are in the city of Edinburgh. We're in the city of Edinburgh. And then you have, it'll be making a stop in Houston. That location is located like southwest of downtown. It's by the Galleria, if you're familiar with Houston, southwest side of Houston. And then it goes back to North Texas. 1 tournament, 2 locations, and then it ends up in TCH Social in Austin, perhaps the nicest of all the locations. And that's going to be in April. That is where the 100K free roll will take place. But all these stops are going to have multiple tournaments where you're going to have an opportunity to win your way in. All right, let us know in the chat. Who do you got? These players are heads up. 2-1 chip lead for Zamora, which means Oscar, if he doubles up once, then they'll be even in chips. So just 1 double up and Oscar's back in it. So can Oscar make the comeback, or will Zamora? The only player who bagged twice, there was 129 players that played this tournament, and he was the only player that got to the finals on the first flight and the second flight. So as I said, if Oscar doubles up once, they will be even in chips. Let us know in the chat who you're rooting for, as the players are on break right now. All right, let's see who the chat got. Having a little issue with my mouse. Yeah, Fletcher's saying that he loves TCH Social in Austin, and like I'm saying, I've been to all the locations, and not to like say that the other locations are bad, but like TCH Social is like next level. Looks like Jose going for Zamora.
They're coming back to 480.
Yeah, but if you've never been to TCH Social in Austin,
Yeah, we raised up the pink.
it's kind of modeled after the TCH Social in Las Colinas. There's actually two TCH Socials, and whenever you see the social, that means that it's set up with a restaurant and a bar and different activities to do besides the poker.
They were gonna fucking make it
But
duel.
when you first walk into the TCH Social in Austin, you have the check-in desk on your right, but then on your left, you have an area that has like a pool table and a foosball table and some other table games. But then you have like essentially a restaurant dining area with booths and tables, and then you have a wall of TVs. I mean, it's like TVs on TVs on TVs. It's basically like a big sports book in Vegas. So I mean, it's just great to go there. They have great food. You can just eat and watch the game, and you don't even have to play poker. I mean, it's basically like a nice sports bar.
Yeah, 125 from the dead.
But then it has the cash game tables in the front. It's got a bar in the middle, and then on the other side of the bar, it's got the tournament area. They are racing off the chips as we are about 2 minutes away from firing things back up. So TCH Social Las Colinas is similar in the fact when you walk in, there's a restaurant area, but I don't think they have the wall of TVs there. They do have a golf simulator at that location, which is kind of cool if you like golf.
You have six?
And
6.5?
if you play for the Trailblazer Series, if you play in Dallas, Houston, Austin, and the Rio Grande Valley, those are the 4 markets you can play at. If you play at 3 of the 4 markets, you're going to get bonus points for the Trailblazer Series. So any combination, 3 out of the 4, like Rio Grande Valley, Austin, Houston, that's a combination. Austin, Houston, Dallas, that's a combination. So if you play at 3 of the 4 stops, you're going to get some bonus points for the Trailblazer Series. As I said, the top 100 players in the points will qualify for a 100K free roll. They're going to qualify for a 100K free roll. Like literally free money. And that free roll will take place at the last stop at TCH Social in Austin, as we are about a minute away. So pick your favorite. We got one person in the chat picking Zamora, and I'm not saying that he's like cheating, but it's easy to take the chip leader. He's got a 2-to-1 chip lead. Like odds are Zamora's going to win right now. But keep in mind, if Oscar doubles up one time, they're even in chips. Zamora has him 2-to-1, but if Oscar doubles up one time, they'll both have 12 million in chips. And we're gonna crown a winner here, as we are 1 minute away. Winner getting 7,500. Make sure you hit the like button on the chat, as it really does help out the channel. And more importantly, it helps my paycheck out. I do not do this for free, folks. I mean, I do enjoy the commentating, but I got kids. So less than 30 seconds away. Once again, these players, to let you know what they're playing for again. And this is how it started. This was the beginning. That breaks down everything. Both these players bagged on Friday night, and then Zamora came back on Saturday and bagged again. $20 buy-in, 5K starter sec, 5K early bonus. $10 unlimited rebuys for 10K in chips.
Blinds are 400, 800, 800.
Okay, somebody's going for the underdog. Oh, Oscar with sevens here. Remember, if he doubles up one time. Does he ship it? Do you just open rip it here? Blinds are 400, 800, so he's less than 10 bigs. He announces all in. Zamora with the ace, and it is suited. I think he's going to call him.
For 5 calls.
Hey, it may be
Oh, and he
last one. We're
makes
done.
the call here. So first hand back fireworks. If Oscar doubles up, they will be even in chips. Zamora hitting the 4, picking up more outs. Zamora going to need an ace or a 4, and no. Oscar will double up, and he will take the chip lead over Zamora. So now pick a favorite in the chat. As it is even, both players with the same amount of chips. They're going to count it down, and let's see what they have afterwards. They're both going to have about 12 million. Yeah, Zamora calling 6.61, and he started the hand with about 18. So yeah, is that 14 and 11? Okay, so Oscar had a little bit more. So Oscar, your new chip leader. And now this guy's switching, since Zamora's the underdog now.
Pretty much equal now.
Pick a lane. So Oscar, your new chip leader. 14 million to 11 million.
I can like not deal now.
Okay. How much is it real quick? It's gonna go up. Let me tell you something on here.
And they might be talking about a deal again. So maybe perhaps they're talking about a deal now that they're even in chips. Yeah, and somebody's saying that they are. Looks like we got an Oscar fan. Somebody replying to, pretty sure they're talking about Zamora. Fletcher pulling for Oscar. I think the tricky part is the $5,000 threshold.
That's what it said. Instead of 1 million.
So normally we would be able to see the players, but just the overhead camera is working. But players are negotiating, or renegotiating, shall I say. Somebody wants the dealer to win. The house always wins. All right, here we go. All right, Zamora with an ace just might be jamming here. So Zamora did offer Oscar a deal early on, an extra $500. Oscar said, let's play. And now Oscar has the chip lead. And Zamora is raising. Oscar announcing all in, and this might be it. Oscar with the nines. Oscar with pocket sevens and now pocket nines. Zamora with an ace both times, and he's going to have to hit an ace. If not, Oscar will make the comeback. Comeback complete. Oscar taking the top prize, $10K in a day.
What do you have away? Nines? Eight?
And that'll wrap things up here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Once again, let's show the payouts. Oscar taking home $7,500. Zamora winding up with $4,300. As that'll wrap things up here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Thank you for watching, and make sure you hit that like button.